Penn State students are set on a journey to discover how African politics work by attending a yearly conference called the Model African Union, which is a simulation much like the real African Union. These 7 students will embark on a journey to understand the intricacies of diplomacy. Now, the probing question is, what is the goal of the Model African Union? Stay tuned and find out more.
This is my 3rd year doing the Model African Union and my last year since I'm a senior. This year I worked on the social committee. Basically what we did, our section of the resolutions were to pass a comprehensive plan to deal with AIDS, malaria, and TB in Africa. And this has been a really good experience. It's really allowed me to use the information that I've learned in my African studies classes and really apply them into a more real-world setting.
The African Union is an international political organization consisting of 54 countries, making it the largest Pan-Africanist group in the world. It is organized by having an embassy briefing to understand the overviews of each country. This helps students become educated on the things that are happening on the African continent.
My name is Obiakor, and I am the Executive Council for the Democratic Republic of Congo. Us in the Executive Council are responsible for finding solutions to the crisis in Mali. I am extremely fortunate to be in this council because it helps me understand the intricacies of diplomacy. And it also helps me in my future plans when I decide to move back to Africa and own my own business, because in life, everything involves politics.
Universities across the nation participate in this event. Each college is assigned a country to represent. Penn State represented the Democratic Republic of Congo. When a solution or motion is being passed, each student stands up to speak on behalf of the country they represent. This all takes place at Howard University and the Washington Plaza. For students, this is a great opportunity to network with professors and diplomats for internships and careers.
Despite the austere financial climate in the United States, we're hiring. We are hiring for permanent positions, for foreign service officers. Those are people that are primarily based and work overseas. We are hiring civil service officers. Those are people who are basically deployed domestically here in the United States, but who also work on foreign affairs. And we also have a very extensive menu of student programs. And I hope that all of you will apply for all of them. Our website is careers.state.gov. And as I said, we have an extensive menu of student programs. We have over 30 that you can apply for as long as you're a continuing student. And I'd like to highlight one of our student programs, our internship program. We have internships year-round, not just in the summer, although we do have summer interns, but we also have interns in the fall and winter. The application deadline for our fall internships for 2012 is March 1st. So all of you in the audience that are continuing students, you still have time to apply for a fall internship in the Department of State once again.
The purpose of the African Union is to promote peace, security, and stability by having positive democratic principles and work with international partners to help provide a perspective, a different one, on the continent. Historically, most people know about Africa through media requests for food and clothing. It is a continent perceived as a lost cause, filled with utter hopelessness. The global picture painted about contemporary Africa is quite grim, with doubts on the future of the continent. That's where the Model African Union comes in. We're able to get feedback from more students who attended the 4-day conference.
It's funny how you learn so many lessons through an experience that you did not expect to learn. For example, you learn self-discipline, self-control, and respecting others, even though they're saying things that you oppose. And even though this is my first experience, I'm pretty sure it will not be my last experience, because this has been a learning experience. It wasn't just a weekend to just listen, but it was a weekend to learn.
The conference is also great because we get to network with other people with similar majors, with similar interests, with similar career paths from other schools all around the country, and we get to do a very realistic simulation of how diplomacy works. So this not only applies to the straight African studies parts, but it also applies very realistically to any kind of international studies or any kind of career that would involve any kind of diplomacy or negotiations. The program has been really great to give us real-world experience in these areas that you really can't get from anything else.
And intriguing of like how other people thought about the situation. You know, we all had similar and different goals at the same time. We all know we were all trying to help, you know, the continent, but we had to, at the end of the day, we had to make something that's going to benefit not just your country, but the whole continent. So it was very interesting and insightful to see other people's opinion, other academic, you know, other scholars' opinion.
This was a really good weekend for many reasons. Not only was it educational in the fact that you had to work in a group to solve a problem, but we were also given the opportunity to meet with the embassy and hear other very powerful, influential speakers.
The African Model Union, like the lessons it teaches the students that come here from all over the country are very important, and they can be used as they go on with their lives into their careers or back into their campuses to make their campus better, their community better, and to be the change that their community needs.
This motion failed. The overall goal of the African Union is to achieve greater solidarity between African countries and the people. At the end of the conference, each student receives an award for participation. If you're interested in this opportunity, contact Dr. Clement Abrokwa. What do you hope your students will get from attending the Model African Union?
Well, the Model African Union gives the student participants the opportunity to experience firsthand a simulation of parliamentary discussions and like congressional discussions following protocol, and also having the opportunity to discuss issues pertaining to Africa that ranges from economic to political and social. So it gives them that opportunity to acquire that kind of experience and the skills, you know, to negotiate with others in their various committees.
If you want to learn more about what the African Studies Department has to offer, just visit afr.la.psu.edu, where you can take a look at their various organizations and courses. Thank you for joining me. I'm Wilson Maguwah.